Welcome, everybody, and thank you for coming. And oops, let me make it a bit louder to what I hope is going to be interesting. Um, so, just for those watching on YouTube afterwards, the books, there are a lot of free books online. So, you can see the website at the bottom there. And then afterwards, if people are here, we want to discuss things and chat a bit, we can do that afterwards. And those just starting this journey, getting close to their own presence, there's a lot of information on the website, which and at the top you'll find begin here. And then I'll put links in the description box below in the YouTube link in the YouTube box. And if people are able, so obviously donations are gratefully received. But so the topics we're going to cover, so it's all straight from the Ascended Master books, but gold and how it was created, and the importance of gold in the golden age, which we are now entering, as we know. So it is a really important thing for us to understand, I believe, and gold-backed universal income for humanity. Saint Germain actually talks about not necessarily in those exact words, but how it will be distributed, or not exactly how, but that it will be distributed. And obviously, they just talk about gratitude being the open door to really our freedom and abundance. So we're going to try and cover those topics today. And I'd like Trish, beloved Trish, can you do the opening invocation for us?
Yes, Anthea, I can. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Beloved presence of God, I am. It is thy life and intelligence that enables me to read and comprehend and absorb that which is required of me. For life, I'm so grateful. Beloved Master Katumi, I ask for your feeling and your capacity to use this instruction for God's glory and mankind's comfort. We thank you. And now, great I am presence, take me within thyself. There instruct me and cause me to retain the full memory of these inner instructions. Thank you. From beloved Saint Germain.
Thank you, beloved Trish. All right, so I just thought I'd start off by actually reading this. It's just a couple of slides. Why is gold important? The gold in the golden age, and this is directly from Unveiled Mysteries, which is written by Godfrey Ray King, and it's a discourse by Saint Germain. And he says, gold was a common commodity in this age, as in all golden ages, because he's talking about a previous golden age, because its natural emanation is a purifying, balancing, and vitalizing energy or force. It is placed within the earth by the lords of creation, those great beings of light and love who create and direct worlds, system of worlds, and the expansion of the light in the beings upon them. The outer mind or intellectual knowledge of humanity holds within it very little understanding of the real purpose of which gold exists on this planet. It grows within the earth like a plant, and through it there is constantly pouring a purifying, vitalizing, and balancing current of energy into the very ground which we walk upon, as well as into the growth of nature and the atmosphere we breathe. Gold is placed upon the planet for a variety of uses, two of its most trivial and unimportant ones being that of using gold as a means of exchange and for ornamentation. The far greater activity and purpose of it within and upon the earth is the release of its own inherent quality and energy to purify, vitalize, and balance the atomic structure of the world. The scientific world today has no inkling as yet of this activity. However, it serves the same purpose to our earth that radiators do to our homes. Gold is one of the most important ways by which the energy from our sun is supplied to the interior of the earth and a balance of activities maintained. As a conveyor of this energy, it acts as a transformer to pass the sun's force into the physical substance of our world, as well as to life evolving upon it. The energy within gold is really the radiant electronic force from the sun acting in a lower octave. Gold is sometimes called a precipitated sun ray. As the energy within gold is of an extremely high vibratory rate, it can only act upon the finer and more subtle expressions of life through absorption. In all golden ages, this metal comes into plentiful and common use by the mass of the people, and whenever such a condition occurs, the spiritual development of that people reaches a very high state. In these ages, the gold is never hoarded, but instead is widely distributed into the use of the mass, who, absorbing its purifying energy, are themselves raised into greater perfection. Such is the right use of gold, and when this law is consciously understood and obeyed, the individual may draw any quantity he desires to himself by the use of that law. So that's precipitation. Because of the gold deposits in all mountain ranges, one finds health and vigor in life upon the mountains that he cannot find at any other place on the earth's surface. No one ever heard of detrimental effects coming to those who constantly handle pure gold. While in its pure state, it is soft and wears away easily. Still, that very quality is the fulfilling of this purpose of which I have just spoken. The more advanced of these people produced much gold by precipitation direct from the universal. The domes of many buildings were covered with sheets of pure gold, and the interiors decorated with brilliant jewels in curious yet marvelous designs. These jewels were also precipitated direct from the one eternal substance. As in all ages past, there was a portion of the people who became more interested in the temporary pleasures of the senses than in the larger creative plan of the great God Self. This caused them to lose consciousness of the God power through the land until it remained active in little more than the city itself. The capital was called the City of the Sun. So now we're going to listen to a video here, which I actually made a while ago, but it's also straight from the books.
We shall now enter the earth, where I shall not only reveal the great deposit of gold of which I told you, but the way the God of nature and the God of gold work together in perfect harmony to produce the precious metal that mankind intuitively loves to use for service and adornment. When I speak of the God of gold and the God of nature, I mean the pure and perfect intelligent beings that handle the forces in these realms and direct them consciously. The God of nature draws and directs the magnetic currents of the earth, and through intelligent manipulation produces certain definite results in and upon our planet. This activity is real, exact, and is performed according to law, as accurately as a chemist works in his laboratory. The God of gold draws, manipulates, and directs the electronic currents from our physical sun. These currents are drawn within the earth's crust to a certain depth, as ribbons are sometimes drawn through lace. This tremendously concentrated electronic energy, by being combined with the magnetic force from within the crust of the earth, reacts upon it in such a way as to slow down the rate of vibration. The radiation from gold is absorbed by both plants and human beings and utilized for many purposes. As I mentioned to you once before during your experiences in Unveiled Mysteries, the emanation from gold is a powerful purifying and energizing action within the human body and in nature. In all golden ages, the metallic form of gold was in common use by the mass of mankind, and during these periods their spiritual development reached a very high point of attainment. One reason for the chaos of the present time is because the gold in the commercial world is being hoarded, instead of being allowed to flow freely among mankind and carry its balancing, purifying, energizing activity into the commercial life of the race. The hoarding of gold in great quantities means an accumulation of inner force, which, if not released within a certain time, will release itself by the overcharge of its own tremendous inner power. Saint Germain then drew me closer into his radiance, and the inner activity of the earth was revealed. Before us stood two transcendently radiant beings, one drawing and directing the magnetic currents of the earth, and the other those of the gold which had been formed within the earth's crust. The one whom he called the God of nature was a being of glorious beauty and power. His body was fully 6 feet in height and clothed in garments of green, gold, and pink. They looked as if they were made of a self-luminous substance. An aura of intense blue surrounded his head, and rays of light poured forth from the heart, head, and hands. The ray from the right hand was green, and that from the left pink, those from the head and heart being white and gold respectively. The being whom Saint Germain called the God of Gold was enveloped by such a dazzling golden light that it took several seconds before I could look at it steadily enough to see further detail. His garments, too, were of light substance, but the rays that extended from the head and hands were of fiery gold. The rays from the heart, blazing white, and the aura, which extended fully a foot around the head, looked as if made of single rays of white lightning. The existence of gold, Saint Germain continued, in white quartz is its purest formation within the earth at the present time, the white quartz being the residue, so to speak, from the magnetic currents, and the metallic gold being the lowered rate of the electronic substance from the sun. This is the reason for its being spoken of occasionally as a precipitated sun ray. That phrase is nearer the truth of what actually takes place than men dream. Now watch. Here the two beings directed the rays of light through their hands to a cavity in the rocks, into which a small quantity of gold had run through a connecting fissure when in the molten state, evidently caused through volcanic action. The intense heat had sealed the fissure with molten granite, thus hiding the entire vein leading into the cavity. This particular ore body, he continued, at its highest point is about 200 feet below the surface. From a geological standpoint, it could not and would not have been discovered. After you return from the Far East, it will be opened up, and one day the ore will be used for a special purpose, so that mankind may be blessed and enlightened. We continued to watch these two beings as their projection of the light rays caused the gold within the cavity to expand and glow, as plants do in sunlight.
All right, so I thought I'd just get out a bit of recent history. So we know that, because actually what's happened is that the gold, which obviously freely belongs to all humanity, really, has been, has been hoarded. Now, there might be, a deeper reason for all of this, a higher reason, because maybe humanity was just not ready to receive it, or maybe it was just, the sinister forces who hoarded it all. There was two sides to the story, isn't there? So in 1913, the Federal Reserve was established in America. And so people often ask, is it private or public? And the answer is it's both. So while the Board of Governors is an independent government agency, the Federal Reserve banks are set up like private corporations. So member banks hold stock in the Federal Reserve banks and earn dividends. And in 1933, so this was ostensibly due to the Great Depression, and the instability of the Federal Reserve, the act was passed by Franklin Roosevelt, making it illegal for people in America to have gold. They had to hand it in, and in its place were given dollar notes. So that was also quite, I mean, some people say the greatest sort of gold hoist in in recent history, but anyway, here it all is. So 1971, gold-backed currency, or the gold standard, was officially removed in the United States when, under President Nixon, he ended the convertibility of the US dollar to gold in 1971. So that was known as the Nixon shock. So it effectively ended the Bretton Woods system. We know that that was a Bretton Woods thing where it was they were able to swap it with gold, so which had linked the dollar to the gold, and other currencies to the dollar. So while some current countries are already moving away from the gold standard, this decision by the US, the world's largest economy, marked the end of the gold standard internationally. So, and I do believe now that it is coming back. There's talk of the gold coming back in from all different sources. So I just thought I'd have a little look and see where the largest gold vaults were held in the world. And so the largest is the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Then there's Bank of England. There's Fort Knox in America. Then there's the Deutsche Bank in Germany, Bank of France, and other noted gold vaults in Switzerland, Dubai, and Singapore. There's also now, and people might just think it's a myth, but I don't think so, there's the gold amassed by King Solomon. And because he asked his favorite queen on his deathbed, because apparently he had many, many queens, many wives, Queen Sheba, to take the gold to Java. And perhaps this is where the largest amounts of gold are. We had a very interesting experience in 2014, but I won't go into it now, in Indonesia, actually, relating to this. But yeah, so anyway. So the question is, how will this gold and wealth be distributed to the people of the world? So we're going to listen now to what Saint Germain says about this. This is an excerpt from Unveiled Mysteries by Godfrey Ray King, a discourse by Saint Germain. Everywhere throughout the universe, whenever the power to create is given to a being, the responsibility of creating is always coexistent with the power. All creation is by self-conscious effort, and if the individual upon whom this great gift of life has been bestowed refuses to take his responsibility and do his duty, his experiences in life will prod him with misery until he does. For mankind never was created in a condition of limitation, and it can have no rest until the perfection with which it was endowed in the beginning is fully expressed. Perfection, dominion, harmonious use and control of all substance and force is the way of life, the original divine blueprint for humanity. God within the individual is that perfection and dominion. It is that mighty I Am presence within the heart of everyone, which is the source of life, the giver of every good and perfect thing. When the individual looks to and recognizes his or her source as the outpouring of all good, he that moment automatically starts the flow of all good things unto him and his world, because his attention to his source is the golden key that opens every good thing unto him. The life in every person is God, and only by the self-conscious effort to understand life and express the fullness of good through himself can the discord in the outer experience cease. Life, the individual, and the law are one, and so it is unto eternity. God and nature bestow their wealth lavishly upon the earth for the use and blessing of the souls who incarnate here, but the selfishness and lust for power within the feelings of mankind make them forget the higher way of life and cause mankind's inhumanity to man. The few who rise to control of the masses should have the intelligence to know that what helps the mass helps the individual most. But if they refuse to recognize this law, self-destruction follows, brought about by their own selfishness. Selfishness and the feeling of power to control others blind the reason and dull the perception of the outer mind to its own dangers, and such individuals ride headlong to ruin, in every case ruin spiritually, mentally, morally, and physically, extending many times into the third and fourth embodiment following. Only when mankind rises out of the mire of its own selfishness and lust in all its forms can human beings be entrusted with all that God and nature hold ready for right use. But any individual, as he cleanses himself of his own selfishness and lust, may have the fullest use of all these riches, when he will use them harmoniously and for the blessing of others. Individuals can make themselves ready to be custodians of these gifts, for in the age that is already ushered in, only those will have unlimited use of wealth who have made themselves worthy to be trusted keepers and dispensers of this treasure. God and nature provide these gifts for man to use rightly, and right use alone is the condition on which they may be received. Okay, so that is because there's definitely I've seen people talking about the new means of exchange will actually be related to consciousness, and so this makes sense because I always think, well, how is it actually all going to work out? And so the beloved Mahatma Chohan said in the Bridge to Freedom material, 1954, he says, "Beloved friends, gratitude is the open door to your freedom." And truly, I think it really is such an important part. So on that note, I thought it would be lovely to listen to the Masters of Wisdom speak on gratitude. This was made, a beautiful video made by Maria. She lives in the Comores, I think, and read by beloved Roxanne.
The Masters of Wisdom speak on the spirit of gratitude. The Bridge to Freedom Journal, November 1955. Lord Maha Chohan. A grateful heart is a natural radiating center of light which contributes to the light of the world. No man can feel gratitude without emitting a vibratory action of harmoniously qualified energy which permeates his own inner and physical bodies, and then stimulates the energies of those he contacts to a like spirit of gratitude for life and its manifold gifts. Ascended Master Elmoira. There is no individual so poor in spirit nor in substance that he cannot honestly find something for which to be grateful. Cultivating the feeling of gratitude toward the elements which serve him, water, air, earth, and sunshine, changes the vibratory action of his personal world and opens the doors of his soul to the spiritual source which has endowed him with life, intelligence, and being. Ascended Master Kuthumi. The therapeutic value of gratitude cannot be minimized by the Chela who is endeavoring to consciously raise and sustain the vibratory action of his own consciousness. Any individual knows how his own spirit responds to a sincere expression of gratitude from a fellow man. Think, then, how the Father of all must respond to a sincere expression of gratitude to him for life, opportunity for self-expression, and the innumerable gifts which he has bestowed upon his children. Ascended Master Paul the Venetian. Many times, in dealing with individuals who are sunk in personal miseries and despair, the cry goes up, "What have I to be grateful for?" These individuals need the assistance of someone who has the tact, understanding, and diplomacy to point out the manifold gifts of blessing which are the common heritage of the race. Gratitude for the individuals who have contributed to the comfort of the race through the development of a seed idea into a practical invention, a scientific means of curing disease, a spiritual formula for soul purification, a magnificent composition which gives peace to the troubled mind and turbulent feelings, is a good way to start cultivating a conscious awareness of the manifold blessings of life. Some have not yet eyes to see, and require the delicate direction of those who can see the beneficent blessings given directly by God and entrusted by Him to man for development. Ascended Master Serapis Bey. One of the qualifications for successful accomplishment of service in this world of form is the development of an awareness of the gifts of God, the masters, angels, and mankind to the Chela who applies for opportunity to complete his course and return home. There is no soul so self-reliant, no individual so complete, that he has not benefited in the past and does not benefit each day by the energies of others who have helped to create the blessings which all enjoy. An individual who desires to achieve the ascension must desire to give to life something of himself as a balance to the evolution of which he is a part, in gratitude for the gifts given him which sustained him to the present day. Ascended Master Hilarion. Scientifically speaking, vibration is consciously created by thought, feeling, action, and the spoken word. Vibrations that are inharmonious create clouds of impure substance in the aura of the individual sending them forth. Gratitude is a feeling which changes the quality of vibration and creates light and harmony in the aura. It is not enough to be grateful in the mind. One must consciously endeavor to be grateful in the feelings, where the greater portion of the personal energies of the individual are qualified. A grateful heart creates a happy mind, a healthy body, and adds to the light of the world. Ascended Master Jesus. Taking for granted the services, gifts, and blessings to his life has delayed the victory of many an individual. The very constancy of the sun in its outpouring has made many forget how much they owe to its presence in the universe. The removal of a source of blessing often results in a shock to the personality which has been the recipient of spiritual illumination, elemental sustenance, or even physical comforts. Then, too late, that individual realizes that the gifts which he had taken for granted had been essential to his well-being. This often results in an attitude of bitterness because of the removal of the gift. Rather, the individual should realize that feelings of gratitude and thanksgiving for their blessings every day would sustain those blessings by the power of magnetization for as long as the person required them. Often in my ministry, when sometimes whole groups of people were healed simultaneously, and only one returned to express gratitude, I asked, "Where are the other beneficiaries of God's mercy and forgiving grace?" Ascended Master Saint Germain. Gratitude for the small blessings of daily life builds a momentum which gives the soul a wider perspective with regard to the innumerable gifts which are constantly poured out for his personal benefit. Life should be a constant prayer of thanksgiving. Not only on one day of the year should mankind give a cursory glance at the benefactions around him, but daily his heart should swell with sincere gratitude just for being. All of us who have arisen to the Ascended Master octave live in a consciousness of constant thanksgiving to God, our fellow servers in the spiritual hierarchy, the angelic messengers, the angel divas, and the sincere, sweet members of the human race who have reached up their hands to join with us in our endeavors to create an aura of light for this earth, transforming it from a shadow planet into freedom's star.
For the stars in the sky, birds that flutter and fly, I am thankful, thankful for the leaves on the trees, how they dance in the breeze. I am thankful, thankful, with an attitude of gratitude for blessings big and small. I'll show gratefulness and thankfulness as I praise the Lord of all. Hallelujah, hallelujah. I am thankful. I feel gladness every day when I pray. With an attitude of gratitude for blessings big and small, I'll show gratefulness and thankfulness as I praise the Lord of all. Hallelujah, hallelujah. I am thankful. I am
Beautifully made by Maria. We listen to that song by the children often in our morning services. It's just such a beautiful song. They're such lovely children. And so I thought also, because we're going to finish off today with just a meditation of going into gratitude. But I thought it would be really good just to play something about Sanat Kumara. It was a short that was made by beloved Robin. She makes these wonderful videos. So just a few, because so few know actually about Sanat Kumara. As we know, he was Ancient of Days in the Old Testament, and the great gratitude that the people of the world truly owe him. And obviously to our beloved Saint Germain and all the other ascended masters. Just deep, deep gratitude. So I just thought we'd play this and to get into that really deep sense of feeling grateful. The patience and love of beloved Sanat Kumara are beyond words to describe. Sanat Kumara is known as Ancient of Days in the Old Testament of the Bible. This is what the beloved Ascended Master El Moira says. I shall not tax your patience by speaking in detail on the subject of Sanat Kumara's cause, for it is a subject that stirs my soul. There would be no earth, no platform for your feet, no air to breathe, no loved ones to enrich your personal orbit, if one being had not sacrificed himself for millions of years, precious hearts, to do for you and mankind what you should be doing for yourselves. Remaining harmonious enough so that the energy from your own iron presence would pour out light instead of shadows. It is the decree of the universe that every planet emit light. Look at your stars at night. Look at the entire galaxy, all obedient to the universal law except Earth. Of course, you cannot look at Earth because you are too close to get a perspective of it, but I can, and I am ashamed that I am so long a member of the hierarchy and should still have to give my energies to the awakening of the earth from the shadows. For millions of years, Sanat Kumara has emitted the light so that this planet might be sustained in the system, while mankind en masse has played in the shadows. Time and time again, the great karmic board has called to him and said, "Great Lord of life, do you not wish to go home?" And time again he has answered, "No, I shall remain." Now the great cosmic law has issued the fiat that he shall return to Venus, and that is the reason for our entire endeavor to reach more souls who are willing to contribute light, to be willing to be the light bearers, and are willing to apply the torch of flame to the smoldering embers in the consciousness of the masses, and to make this star a blazing planet of freedom in the firmament. This came from the Bridge to Freedom material given by the Ascended Masters through the sound and light rays in the 1950s. This is an editor's note. In January of 1956, Sanat Kumara did return to Venus, for the most part due to the transmission flame service performed by the Philadelphia group at that time. He returned again in the 70s to assist Saint Germain in this critical time on our beloved earth as we move now into the golden age. However, it is time now for beloved Sanat Kumara to permanently return to Venus. And we have the great opportunity and responsibility of being the bearers of light in this lower realm on the earth plane for our I Am presence. So well-made video by Robin. All right, so this is where we're going to end off. It's just a meditation, really sending out gratitude. So I hope you enjoy it. It's about 10 minutes. Find a place where you'll be undisturbed, and then sit quietly, straighten your spine, and then we take some slow, deep breaths. We breathe in, we hold the breath, we breathe out, we hold the breath. We do this for a few more breaths to get into that quiet, peaceful state. We can add a statement to our breath. As we breathe in, say the statements inwardly as we take the breaths. I am in-breathing the feeling of gratitude. We hold the breath. I am absorbing that feeling of gratitude. We breathe out again. I am expanding that feeling of gratitude. We hold the breath. I am projecting that feeling of gratitude. Let's just take those breaths, saying those statements with our inner voice. And now let's just place our attention on our mighty God presence, the great I Am presence, which is anchored within our hearts in that form of a beautiful flame. And then we could take the consciousness up through the top of our head, through the silver cord, to our mighty I presence, which for the most part is above us. Feel and see that mighty God presence. This is our source of life. And now let's just open our hearts and send love and gratitude to our mighty I presence for beating our heart, for giving us life. I am grateful, beloved I presence, for your great unconditional love, your great wisdom and illumination. I am grateful for your will, your power, your faith, and your protection. I am grateful for your purity and your heavenly peace. I am grateful for the truth and your perfect health and healing. I am grateful for your mercy and forgiveness. I am grateful for all the many, many blessings in my life. I am so grateful for my family and friends. I am so grateful for my home. I am so grateful for all the supply I receive. I am so grateful to beloved Virgo and Pelia and all the beloved earth elementals, each and every gnome, and I call by the power, the love and the authority of my beloved I presence for love, blessings and gratitude, and Saint Germain's violet flame to be sent on behalf of myself and all mankind to every earth elemental on this beloved planet. I am so grateful to Neptune and Lunara and each and every one of your water elementals, the Undines, and I call on behalf of myself and all mankind by the power and the authority of my mighty I Am presence for love, blessings and gratitude, and Saint Germain's violet flame to be sent to each and every precious one. And I send love and gratitude to beloved Aries and Thor and each and every air elemental, all the beloved sylphs of the air. We call for love, blessings and gratitude, and Saint Germain's violet flame for each and every precious one. Now we send love and gratitude to beloved Prince Ramesses and Holy Diana and each and every one of their beloved fire elementals, the salamanders. On behalf of myself and all mankind, love, blessings and gratitude, and Saint Germain's violet flame. Let's just feel our entire earth bathed in that glorious light, that pink and golden light of gratitude and love. Let's see and know and accept, by the power of our mighty High Presence and the great ascended hosts, every part of life revolving on this sweet earth is filled with that feeling, that light substance from the Ascended Master realm of love and gratitude. We send love and gratitude to the beloved great angelic host, our great friend and protector, Archangel Michael, all your great archangels and archai, the mighty seraphim, the cherubim, all the angels, and our own blessed guardian angels. I am so grateful for your great gifts to me and to all humanity. Let's just feel and send love to all the beloved angelic kingdom. And now we just place our attention on the great host of ascended masters. We send love and gratitude to our great and beloved Sanat Kumara, the great Lord of love of the universe. We send love and gratitude to Saint Germain and Lady Portia. We send love and gratitude to the great Divine Director. We send love and gratitude to beloved Lord Gautama, Lord Maitreya, and all the great and beloved ascended hosts. We send our deepest love and gratitude for your ceaseless service, your enduring love for the people of this planet, and all the many, many blessings we receive, for the most part passed by without any love or gratitude. The beauty and bounty of nature. And for all life revolving on our beloved earth, love, blessings, and gratitude to life. Wow. Anyway, so that's the end. We finished a little bit early, which is good. But so I'm just thinking, who might like to? Scott, are you there? Can you read the closing invocation for us?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
Closing invocation before ending the session, we all say with mics muted, Beloved, I am present, and beloved Master Katumi. Nourish the seeds planted in my consciousness so that the ideas entrusted to me become manifest flowers of perfect expression in my world and the world of all my fellow men. Beloved presence of God, I am. Pour the light of thy great glory upon my consciousness and nourish the seeds planted by the masters. We thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, lovely. And just thank you, just a moment of deep gratitude, truly, because we are so blessed to have these marvelous teachings and for our many blessings and our beautiful earth. And those watching afterwards on YouTube. There's a lot of information on the I Am Free website, which I'll put links in the description box. And if you like it, please do like and subscribe. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to stop the recording quickly.